cleanup hitter. At first base, the graduate student from Rancho Palos Verdes, California, number 8, Kelly Beaupre. Batting fifth, a senior third baseman from Motina, Lincoln Way Central, number 3, Carly Albert. Hitting sixth at shortstop, a junior, Victorville, California, 24, Viviana Rodriguez. Batting seventh, in left for the Blue Demons, a sophomore, Laverne, California, number 9, Kaylee Blunt. Hitting eighth and catching, a freshman, Riverside Brookfield, number 18, Zoe Levine. Batting ninth and playing right field, a junior from Collins, Iowa, number 17, Alexis Cole. And pitching today for DePaul, a junior from Bettendorf, Iowa, number 6, Bella Niji in the circle. The DePaul Blue Demon coaching staff, assistant coach Eddie Ramirez, associate head coach Christina Sutcliffe, the head coach of the DePaul Blue Demons in her first season, Liz Bauk-Jagelski. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please direct your attention to the flag beyond left center and on the video board is an image as we honor America with our national anthem. It's being sung today by DePaul student Elliot Povitz. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed and the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight all our ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the Rockies radiant, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Cacciatore Stadium. This is the home of the DePaul Blue Demons. They're taking on UConn today. My name is Jenna Rose. To bring you the call, taking a look across the field and into the circle, first and foremost, we have Bella Niji. She's working and making another appearance. We saw her come in yesterday as well. Keeping an eye out on her. She typically comes in, her fastball sits in the low 60s, can incorporate a low rise that looks nearly identical to her drop. So really she's trying to keep these opposing batters off balance, working high in zone as well as keeping it low too. Looking back to game 1 and 2, final score was 16-1 in favor of the Huskies. This was their 5th run rule of the game, pardon, of the season. Let's take a look at the lineups here today at Cacciatore Stadium. UConn Huskies go to the plate first. Up first, it's Hastings, who had herself a day here, doubleheader, followed by Jenkins, who continuously sets program records. Garcia, Pettis, Breslin, those two home run hitters, both with 3-run shots on the day. It'll be followed by Jenkins, second baseman Kugel, as well as Kibling and Barber to round things out. First pitch from Niji, Lexi Hastings at the plate. She'll watch that one come in for strike number 1. In game 1, Hastings extended her hit streak to 10 straight games, recording her 17th multi-hit game of the season, as she fouls that one off. Game number 2, she had her 10-game hit streak snapped, was only able to get on base via a walk. As a senior, she's been the leadoff bat here for quite some time for UConn. The 0-2, that'll fall outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Niji working quick and efficient here in the start. Hastings will leave that one high. Hastings from Lynchburg, Virginia. And Niji quickly falling behind in the count here, goes full. In 2024, Hastings was named the Big East Player of the Year, played and started in 53 games in the outfield. As she sends that one into left, her position underneath it will be Blunt, and that'll be the first out of the game here for the Blue Demons.
First baseman, number 17, Grace.
We've seen some changes to the defensive alignment here today. Morgan Rogers is returning back to center field. She's been out ever since April 5th, injured during a game against St. John's. So we'll see her out in center. Shifting over to the left is Blunt. Hogue will be out in right today. As we see another first pitch strike here for Bella Niji. The 0-1, having a hard time locating that outside corner. Niji, after yesterday's game, comes into this one with an ERA of 3.24, doing so through 21 appearances. That one will be chopped over to first base with the backhand there. We have Beaupre making that a quick second out here on the game.
Next up, third baseman, number 10, Rosie Garcia.
Beaupre, the cleanup bat here for the Blue Demons. She'll get the out. Up next, we have Rosie Garcia swinging .357. Displays a lot of pop in her bat as she sends that one into right field, and underneath it we have Hogue. That's 3 up, 3 down here for the Blue Demons as they get ready to try to do some damage at the plate. We'll be back after the break to bring you more Big East softball.
Here at Cacciatore. DePaul Athletics and DePaul Sports Marketing would like to recognize and thank our official blue chip partners. They are Nike, Gatorade, Wintrust, Pepsi, Rush, and Rush Physical Therapy. We thank our partners. Fans, DePaul softball is having a great weekend in terms of hard work, reaching a goal. We're told that DePaul softball is over its $1,000 goal in the quest to help Cal's Angels. Cal's Angels grants wishes for families and kids fighting cancer. It's not too late, however, to add on to this victory.
Welcome back to Cacciatore Stadium here for the bottom of the first. In the circle, we have right-hander Peyton Kinney. We saw her in game number 2 throwing a scoreless inning. Before that, she was the one who had the nod in game 1 during that 16-1 victory over DePaul. That was her 17th start of the season in the circle for the Huskies. Kinney went 4 innings, giving up 1 run on just 1 hit with 3 strikeouts, picking up her 8th win of the season. The Blue Demons saw a lot of her yesterday, struggled to make contact in game 1. In game number 2, DePaul had 10 hits while UConn had 11. However, UConn able to manufacture 14 runs off those 11 hits. DePaul only able to do so with 5. Let's take a look at the lineup here for the Blue Demons. Up first in the leadoff spot, we have second baseman Bailey Cosgrove. In her last 3 games, 2 of her first at-bats have been leadoff doubles. She's just underneath that one. Infield's communicating. That one's going to fall, and it's going to roll foul. Smart play by the defenseman there to let the ball spill. There was some miscommunication. Looks like Barber was trying to wave the hand, say she had it first. Must have lost it under the skies. A little overcast here today in Lincoln Park. Good weather, not too cold. Yesterday it was 78, but felt like 64. The 1-1, that'll be smashed into the left center gap. Kibling will make the stop. She'll bring it on in, but staying over at first is Cosgrove, making a quick start here today, getting on base here for the Blue Demons. Up next, Morgan Rogers once again, as she was out for 6 games. She was injured April 5th, taking on St. John's, who currently is number 1 in the conference. In Big East, we see that UConn is currently ranked 2nd. DePaul Blue Demons are ranked 8th. Solid contact there by Cosgrove. It was 8 doubles, a triple, and a home run on the season. .416 slugging percentage. Morgan Rogers returns to this one after a 6-game break. Has a batting average of .282, 24 hits through 85 at-bats. Has some pop as well, 4 doubles and 2 home runs. Offering will Kinney will go to a strike. Both pitchers efficient so far in this start. A lot of first pitch strikes. Rogers shows bunt. She gets it down. With the retrieval is Jenkins. The throw will go wild. Rounding second, going to third. We have Bailey Cosgrove. And just like that, runners on the corners due to a successful bunt, courtesy of Morgan Rogers. Rogers doing what she does best, making an impact. She's second on the team here when it comes to stolen bases with 8 and 9 attempts. Hanging out with assistant coach Abby Ramirez, former pro playing for Athletes Unlimited Softball, a University of Michigan grad. Up next, it's Lydia Edema at the plate. Another first pitch strike. Edema swinging just a hair over 309. Rogers is going to go. Catcher will hold back, though. Runners now in scoring position. That'll be another steal in the books here for Morgan Rogers. 9 on 10 attempts. Currently ties Lydia Edema, who has 9 so far in the season for most stolen bases here in the team. Edema notched her 5th home run of the season, doing so in game number 1 of the doubleheader. 0-2. She'll leave it. That's a big hack there from Edema on the 1-2. And that'll be the first K on the day here for Peyton Kinney. This will bring up the cleanup hitter in Kelly Beaupre. Was unable to reach base in game number 1, but had herself a day in game number 2, reaching. She shows bunt, she gets it down, and all right, Beaupre trying to get caught up there at first. She goes back. UConn able to make something happen, getting the out at home plate. Cosgrove comes up unsuccessful. Looks like they'll call time.
The ball on the field was out at home plate. Cosgrove called out. The DePaul dugout has initiated a...
So now what's happened is the DePaul dugout has initiated a challenge here on the play. I think they want to go back and see what happened on that slide into home plate.
A review getting underway.
And looks like the review's underway. This would be the first time in this series that DePaul was able to score a run at first before UConn. All right, here's the replay right here. Beaupre shows bunt. We see the head first dive. We also see the catcher with her foot in front of the plate. That could make it a little difficult for Cosgrove. She moves the foot out of the way, though, to bring in the tag. I think they're just checking to see this is obstruction. It also looks like she could be late with this tag, too, so I believe those are the things that they're looking at here in this review. All right, here it is for you one more time. And just like that, the play is overturned. Cosgrove scores the first run of the game here for the Blue Demons, and this is the start that they need. Collectively, the UConn Huskies scored 30 runs yesterday. Can be a little overwhelming. All right, one more time. We've got another angle for you here. Yep. That's what they overturn. So Cosgrove scores. We now have Rogers over at third. Beaupre at first. This will bring up Carly Alvers. It'll be high and outside. One of the first times that Kinney wasn't able to throw a first pitch for a strike. Carly will send that deep into left field. Backtracking is Hastings, unable to make the grab, unable to get the hop. Runners will score. Looks like it'll be Parker's first, and then able to sneak in there is Beaupre, and safe over at third base, getting the triple. We have Carly Alvers. A 2-run triple here for Alvers. Really able to generate that power with their lower half and smash into the left center gap. Nothing really that we could see Hastings or Kibling do. Looks like with the attempt to try to get Beaupre out at home plate, that'll be a double. He's able to advance and get to 3. Bibiana Rodriguez is at the plate. 2 balls, no strikes. Rodriguez just behind that one. So today we had Cosgrove scored as they overturned the call. Following that was Rogers and Beaupre. Doing so off of Carly Alvar's double. She's able to squeak in and get to third, and now that sets the stage for Bibiana Rodriguez. That'll fall foul, hitting the netting. Rodriguez sends that one deep into left field. Camping underneath it is Hastings. She's going to fire home, but tagging up is Carly Alvars. She'll make this a 4-0 ball game in favor of the Blue Demons.
Left fielder, number 9, Kaylee Blunt.
That long ball out and left paid dividends. The sac fly. Up next is Blunt, who we typically see out in left field. Once again, she's been filling in for Morgan Rogers over in center for the last 6 games. .10 from Blunt will be a strike. Blunt stands at 5'10" from California. It was a transfer from Oregon State. As redshirt sophomore, she played high school at Bonita. One will go out of the park. Doesn't hit the train. In high school, Kaylee Blunt won the league championship twice and was named CIF Division III champion. Also earned the Scholar Athlete Award and All-League Award. The 1-2 to Blunt. That'll stay low in the zone. The daughter of Ed and Tracy Blunt. Ed played quarterback at Washington State and the 49ers. That'll be a swing and a miss. Second K on the day, as we saw here for Peyton Kinney. When we return, we'll be bringing you some more Big East softball. The DePaul Blue Demons taking on the UConn Huskies. We'll see you in a bit.
Nobody left for the Blue Demons. Photos, news, and everything going on with DePaul softball, including remaining promotions. Go to DePaulBlueDemons.com/softball.
Welcome back to Cacciatore Stadium. The Blue Demons able to get 4 runs on the board off of 2 hits here in the bottom of the first. This is a stark difference in what we saw in both of the games yesterday. A 14-5 victory in game number 2 and a 16-1 victory the first game of the doubleheader. The UConn Huskies will clinch this series, but are looking for the sweep today. Up next is number 8, Kat Pettis, to represent the Huskies. She had a 3-run shot yesterday, had some hardline drives as well with the plate. She'll watch that one go by. The ceremonial first pitch today was pretty fun. We had Nicole Scherpzer, now known as Nicole Wendell. She actually is a softball alumna here at DePaul who helps lead DePaul to a 3rd-place finish in the 1999 Women's College World Series. You might recognize her daughter, Maya Wandal. She made the grab behind home plate during that pitch. We'll see her patrol shortstop from time to time. That'll be a sizzler over to the hot corner, and that'll be the first out here for the UConn Huskies. Making it look easy is Carly Alvers. They don't call it the hot corner for nothing. Nicole Wendell throwing out that ceremonial first pitch. She also received her plaque today for the Summit League Hall of Fame. In all 4 seasons, she was named Pitcher of the Year in the Summer League. Still the only player to do so since then. Off speed works for Niji. Count goes 0-2. We're at the part of the lineup here for the Blue Demons that is pretty scary in Pettis and Breslin. These two both with 3-run home runs in yesterday's games. Breslin in game 1, Pettis in game 2. As that one goes foul. Breslin, one of 2 players that have had hot starts here in the month of April, hitting well above 500. Another player to do so is Lexi Hastings. Combined, these two have attributed to 25 of UConn's 75 RBIs heading into the games of this month. That'll be a swinging strikeout. Really pulling back the string there was Niji to make it happen. That'll be her first K on the day. Got a smash deep into right field, making the grab on the hop. We have Hogue, and just like that, Hope Jenkins, another thread, is sent back to the dugout. It's 3 up, 3 down here for the Blue Demons, looking to make a statement when we return. You're watching Big East Softball here on Flow Sports. Welcome back. Bottom of the second, we have Peyton Kinney in the circle here today for UConn. But you see the Blue Demon bats have been able to adjust here today, as looks like Levine takes that for strike one. Peyton Kinney with a 2.10 ERA entering this weekend series. Record of 5-2 as well. That's bumped up to 6-2. That was all during conference play, by the way. Leads in a few other categories as well. There's the 1-1 to Levine. Levine also having herself a day yesterday, specifically in game number 2, just really making solid contact. We saw some really hard singles that were able to go and break through the outfield into the gaps. You can hear up here in the press box, Peyton Kinney saying that she liked that one. She's liking the conversations between her and her battery mate behind the dish there, and Heidi Barber. Two balls, two strikes. Levine doing what she can to hold off on that one. Full count, taking the free pass. We have Levine.
Right fielder, 17.
The Blue Demons are working very quickly. The game plan heading into the series was essentially for them to just play as they know how they can. To really go back to their identity and be aggressive early in the counts. Really think line drives and work into the gaps. Looking for hard hit balls through the infield, not just home run swings. This will bring up Alexis Hogue. Tries to get the bunt down. It'll roll foul. Speaking with head coach Book Jagielski, one thing she said was middle of the season was really the turning point here for the Blue Demons. They doubted themselves in the box. They would let good pitches go. So truly, I think here in game 3 of this series, that's something they're working to be in the past. Manufacturing 4 runs off of 2 hits. Runner on first, no down. The 0-1 to Hogue. She'll pull back there. Defense is playing in pretty close, especially on the corners. Getting ready to see if she lays one down. Hogue will slap that one into center field. Nobody's there. Levine, she's going to get a little off the bag there. She'll run back to second. And that's the tricky thing about lefties. You never know what they will do when they're in the box. Will they slap? Will they bunt? Can they be a triple threat? And I think Alexis Hogue continues to prove just that. Hogue swinging .235 coming into today's game. Also 5 for 7 on stolen base attempts, so really possesses that speed, able to get down the line quickly. Levine, after getting the walk, she advances to 2. We're back to the top of the lineup here, and Bailey Cosgrove, again, they overturned the play in the first inning, overturning the call. She was safe at home. Following that, Rogers scored, and Beaupre, as well as Alvers. She'll watch that one come in. Cosgrove was 2 for 4 in game number 2 with a leadoff double. Crossing home plate once herself. That'll go high and outside. Zoe Levine in that game, standing at second, was 2 for 3 on the day with an RBI double. Kinney unable to locate her spots here, trying to work high in the zone. It looks like there'll be a meeting out in the circle. Kinney is arguably one of the best arms here for UConn softball, an ERA of 1.89. 8-3 so far on the season through 85 innings of work. Giving up 29 runs, 23 of which were earned. 37 walks to 65 strikeouts. Missing high once again, Peyton Kinney. Counts full. Cosgrove has 10 walks and 11 strikeouts so far on the season, a .394 on base percentage. That'll go high over the press box. In conference play entering this game, Peyton Kinney has an ERA of 2.03. That's through 51 2/3 innings of work. Along at bat here. Runners on first and second. In comes the 3-2 to Cosgrove. Cosgrove celebrating on her way to first base. Just like that. Bases are loaded, no outs. This will bring up Morgan Rogers. All right, looks like they're going to make a pitching change here. Peyton Kinney handing things over to Hope Jenkins. We saw her compete yesterday as well. All right, we'll be back after the break here to bring you some more Big East softball. Back to the home of DePaul Blue Demons softball, where the Blue Demons are taking on the UConn Huskies. Jenna Rose here to bring you today's call. A pitching change was just made here for UConn, switching out Peyton Kinney for Hope Jenkins. The junior made her 9th start of the season in Game 2 for the Huskies yesterday. Jenkins went 5 innings, giving up 2 runs on 7 hits with a pair of strikeouts. During that game, she actually recorded her 200th career strikeout. She makes her way back to the circle now. Hope Jenkins plays alongside her twin sister Grace. As that'll come in for ball number 1. Once again, Hope Jenkins came in after a free pass issued by Peyton Kinney in the circle. Kinney with 2 Ks on the day. Also sporting 2 walks here in the bottom of the second. That'll be a swinging strike. Jenkins with an ERA of 3.95. We'll work that one on the outer half. It'll be 2-1. Notching her 200th career strikeout yesterday. She has 64 so far on the season. 2-1 to Parker. She'll squeak that one inside. trying to just give a different look here, sampling on each part of the plate. Rogers will send that deep into right field. Backjacking is Breslin. She'll catch it right in front of the fence. She'll fire it back in. However, a run will score. Rogers will now stand on first base. Alexis Hogue now at third. Levine scores. Morgan Rogers with the sacrifice fly. That'll bring in Levine. Hogue's at third. Cosgrove is at first. This will bring up Lydia Edema. Once again, Edema recorded her 5th home run so far on the season in Game 1. She accounted for the lone run that DePaul had in that 16-1 loss. 1-1 to Edema. That'll be a strike. Hope Jenkins, the pitcher, stands at 5'9", attended St. Francis Catholic High School. It's from Folsom, California. That'll go over to the hot corner with the backhand. They'll try to get the tag. There's a pickle over here at third baseline, and they're able to tag out Alexis Hogue. Smart work and quick work there by the tag team in Garcia and Barber.
First baseman, number 8, Kelly Beaupre.
So now we see Cosgrove at second, Edema's at first. Kelly Beaupre returns. That'll be sent high. Looks like it'll be in foul territory. That'll be called a strike. Count goes 1-2. Here for Kelly Beaupre, taking a deep breath, putting on her batting gloves. Runners on first and second, 2 down. Beaupre scoring herself here in Game 1. Entered this game with 17 runs and 8 RBI on the year. All right, striking out, looking there is Beaupre. And just like that, the Blue Demons able to get 1 on the board here in the bottom of the second. Once we return, we'll bring you the top of 3. The Huskies looking to get a run on.
Providing a forum for local and national businesses to communicate with student athletes, to construct and fulfill NIL agreements. To learn more about this innovative partnership, please visit DePaulBlueDemons.com/NIL. Rush University Medical Center, proud to be the official health system and healthcare provider of DePaul Athletics.
Demons softball. Here on the campus of DePaul University in Lincoln Park.
Rush University Medical Center is a national leader
All right, taking a look at the field now. Warm-ups are going on. Everybody's getting ready. DePaul leading this one 4-0 here, entering the top of 3, doing so off of 3 hits. UConn already making 1 defensive error. I believe they now have 24 errors on the season, highest in the Big East Conference. The Blue Demons are halfway through their second time around of the lineup. Here we have UConn still trying to get through. It's been 3 up, 3 down for the last 2 innings. Up first is Haley Kupal, the batting average of .273. 3 doubles and a triple to her name. She'll leave the off speed. Bilanichi, or the 1-1 count. One, two from Niji will draw a big swing and mitch over here for Haley Kupal. With that, that'll be her 13th strikeout so far on the season. That'll be the second K on the day here for Bella Niji. Niji is someone who's been battling some soreness and some injuries, so she goes as far as her body will let her every time she's in the circle. I'm sure at some point today we'll see another pitcher, another arm come in here for the Blue Demons. Someone they've liked to place in some of these high-pressure situations has been freshman Hannah Messer. Count goes to 1-1. Messer, the freshman out of Wiley, Texas, has a very good pitch mix as well. With the off-speed there, now we have 1 ball, 2 strikes. Caitlin Kibling's at the plate here for the UConn Huskies. 22 walks and 32 strikeouts so far on the year, batting average of .185. See here that Niji's really just trying to work the corners. It'll be the first walk on the day here for Bella Niji. Caitlin Kibling, the recipient. She'll go over to first base, going from a strikeout to a walk here today. So now bring up number 20, Heidi Barber. We're seeing her behind the dish here for the UConn Huskies. A big lead over there for Kibling. She'll stay put. Heidi Barber, standing at 5'11", is a freshman, went to White Bear Lake High School out of Minnesota. That'll be a steal there for Kibling. She'll get her hands there in time. The ball will splay out to the outfield. Rogers bringing it back in. Kibling, that'll be her 12th stolen base so far on the season, 12 for 13 in attempts. Only the second highest on the team. She's following suit behind Lexi Hastings, who has 26 stolen bases on 28 attempts. That'll squeak in, hit her foot. Runner will remain at second, and Barber, hit by a pitch, will head over to first base. We've seen a lot of that in this series, a lot of hit by pitches. I believe Rosie Garcia was hit twice throughout yesterday's games. UConn now doing what they do best, which is getting on base. This will bring us back to the top of the order. Lexi Hastings will show bunt and pull back. Hastings was stellar in game 1 of the doubleheader, continuing her multi-game hit streak as well as reaching base safely streak. She'll pull back on that one. But taking a look at game number 2 for Hastings, she was 0 for 4, able to score a run, struck out as well. Niji works it to a 1-2 count. And UConn has been a team that's been hot here in the month of April. Through 10 games, they've put up 109 runs, outscoring their opponents 109 to 41. So this is a team, when they get on, they can really work some magic. We think of the scores we saw here yesterday. 30 total runs. Hastings with 6 doubles, 3 triples, and 5 homers. She'll slap that up the middle. Niji will make the play over at first. Runners will advance to scoring position now on second and third.
Number 17, Grace Jenkins.
This will bring up Grace Jenkins to the plate, who's pivotal in this lineup here for the UConn Huskies. Leads the team batting average in .424. That'll be roped into right field. Underneath it is Hogue. And the thread is retired here for the Blue Demons. Unable to score, leaving 2 stranded are the UConn Huskies. The DePaul Blue Demons look to ride this momentum as we bring you the bottom of the third after this. Welcome back, everybody, to Cacciatore Stadium. Let's take a look at the Big East standings here in 2025. UConn in that second spot there with a conference record of 13-4. DePaul still sitting in that 8th spot with only 1 conference win. We had Kelly Green in the circle there for the Blue Demons. DePaul looking to change that over the course of the next few games. Neck and neck are Creighton. Neck and neck are St. John's and the UConn Huskies in the standings. Carly Alvers returning to the plate here for the Blue Demons. Just checking into that game, St. John's is currently up 3-1 at the top of the 5th, playing Creighton, as that one is sent back to the pitcher. Hope Jenkins turns and is able to get the out. That'll be 1 down right here for the Blue Demons. One down. The delivery from Jenkins off speed. Will float in for a strike. Rodriguez batting 5th in the lineup today for the Blue Demons. working from the back of the box. We'll watch that one come in for strike number 2. Swing and a miss there. Viviana Rodriguez was 0 for 3 at the plate in what we saw in game number 2 of the doubleheader. She sits back on that one. It'll go into the glove of Pettis. She'll fire over to first. And that'll be the second out here at the bottom of the third. Hope Jenkins truly trusts the defense behind her. Some of these outs we've seen here today have been by way of some soft contact, some ground outs. Hope Jenkins able to get a backwards K already in the bottom of the second inning, surpassing 200 career strikeouts during her time as a junior here for the Huskies. Will often work in tandem with her twin sister, Grace, who's now playing first base. Behind the dish, we have Heidi Barber. 1-0 to Blunt. She'll get that off the end of her bat there. And this ball will go over to the fans. One to Blunt. That one will stay low. As redshirt freshman in 2024, Blunt appeared in 31 games and started 26 in the outfield during her first year at DePaul, recording 7 hits and 45 at-bats. As she will send that one deep into the right center gap, capping underneath it is Breslin, who will make that the third out here. 3 up, 3 down here for the Blue Demons. 2 ground outs and a fly out. When we return, we'll bring you the top of the 4th, where UConn is down 5-0. It's the top of the 4th. UConn Huskies are ready to take to the plate. They're facing right-hander Bella Niji in the circle. Niji, so far on the day, has 3 innings of work under her belt. She's walked 1 and struck out 2. The 2 strikeouts were against Breslin and Kupal. As that'll go 1-0. We have Rosie Garcia now at the plate. One count for Garcia, working from the back of the batter's box. She'll watch that one sail high. In her last plate appearance, Garcia flew out to right field. She'll send that one deep into center field. Only having to move a little bit there was Morgan Rogers making the snag. That'll be one down here in the top of the fourth. Taking a look over the last couple of at-bats here for the Huskies, it's pretty interesting to see that even though we've marked some of the outs, it was still some deep flyouts, some long balls or hard choppers that the Blue Demons were able to get around to. So this is a team that continues to make solid contact, and I couldn't think of a better example than Kat Pettis, who's currently at the plate. .377 batting average heading into today's game. Tries to get the off speed, unable to do so. Bella Niji now making this a 1-1 count. That one will go high. Niji with the off speed, cranking that left and foul is Kat Pettis. She had a 3-run blast yesterday during the game, as well as Breslin, who we'll see shortly after her. Barreling that one up is Kat Pettis. That'll go into the gap. We have Rogers with the retrieval. And just like that, Pettis is now on base. Up next, we have Caitlin Breslin. Having to shake that one off is Niji. Bella Niji, ERA of 6.02 entering today's contest. That's through 83 2/3 innings of work. Breslin will watch that one go inside. Pettis will go back to first base. Breslin swinging .412 into today's contest. Some movement there from Niji, no dice. This will be a timeout. Huskies swept the doubleheader yesterday against the DePaul Blue Demons. Breslin will watch the off speed go by. In game number 1, Caitlin Breslin drove in a 5 RBI, just 2 shy away of her career high. That was Breslin's 6th game with 3+ RBI in an outing. She recorded her 14th multi-hit game and 12th multi-RBI game as well. She clips that one. Going was Pettis. With that contact there, looks like she's a little confused. She'll head back over to first. That is smashed into the left center gap. Blunt will get the retrieval. Pettis is rounding third. She could be the first run of the game here for the Huskies. And they're unable to get the tag. Heads up base running by Caitlin Breslin. She'll slide into third. And just like that, it is 5-1. Still in favor of the Blue Demons. But Pettis having an absolute day at the plate yesterday. Able to get on, and Breslin smashing that one deep into left center. Here for the Blue Demons, every moment counts, every little part of the game, each pitch, each at-bat. most likely having a conversation just how they can hone this one in and try to get the next out. For Niji, trying to locate. This is one of the tougher bats they'll face too, and Hope Jenkins, she'll launch that one, rocketing into center field. Rogers is underneath it. She'll fire it in. Breslin tags up, and she slides in safe. This has been a 2-run inning so far here for the UConn Huskies. The sac fly from Hope Jenkins. That's 2 down now. Koopball getting ready. Breslin with a double, able to advance on the throw to third. Her RBI double allowed Kat Pettis to score. Koopball will launch that one over to Cosgrove, fielding it on the hop, getting the out. That'll be the top of the 4th inning. Looks like the Huskies are able to get on the board. 5-2 ball game. We'll return with some more action after this.
The bottom of the 4th for the DePaul Blue Demons. Catcher.
Welcome back to the bottom of the 4th. Leading off here, we have Zoe Levine. You'll typically see her behind the dish here for the Blue Demons. DePaul looking to bounce back after giving up 2 runs here in the top of the 4 against UConn. Hope Jenkins had the long ball that was able to score her teammate in Breslin. As that one comes in for strike number 1. Jenkins recently notching her 200th career strikeout, doing so in yesterday's game, able to pick up a swinging strikeout here today. That'll go into the right center gap, and catching that one on the run, looks like it'll be Breslin.
Right fielder, number 17, Alexis.
Up next is DePaul's right fielder, Alexis Hogue. She'll watch that one go by. Another first pitch strike courtesy of Hope Jenkins. Hope and her twin sister Grace will run camps out of Connecticut, trying to connect with the next generation and teach a thing or two about what they know as that one goes foul. Looks like the ball was not caught. Five to the score, already 1 for 1 on the day is Alexis Hogue. Singled to center field. That'll be a chopper, fielding it on the hop. Looks like Gracie will get the out. Barton Pettis.
Second baseman, number 1, Bailey Ostrow.
Yep, Hogue showing bunt and pulling back, just trying to get into her timing and throw off the defense, but Pettis scooping that on the side, pushing her body towards first base. As Cosgrove just watches the off-speed float by, that'll be ball number 1. Cosgrove with a line drive over to center field in her first at bat. Drew a walk, her second time up. Cosgrove is just underneath that one, hoping to get a bigger piece. Standing at 5'5" is Bailey Cosgrove. You'll typically see her in middle infield. She plays second. She was named to the 2023 Big East All-Tournament team as well as the NFCA All-American Scholar Athlete. That'll be sent into the right center gap. That'll be a single, but looks like she's going to check, and she will go run over and dive to second. That is safe. Bailey Cosgrove doing what she does best, utilizing her speed and making solid contact. That'll be a double over to right. Up next, this will bring up Morgan Rogers. We've seen the lineup shift in her absence as well as the outfield. She typically plays center. We saw Kaylee Blunt coming into cover during her 6-game stretch where she was recovering. Received an injury April 5th playing against St. John's, who's currently number 1 in the standings. They have a tied overall record here against the Huskies, 13-4. St. John's currently leading 3-1 over Creighton. Their first pitch was at 11:30 a.m. today in Central Time. Hope and Barber having a few choice words. 2 balls, no strikes. 2 down with a runner on second. Bringing up a bat that they haven't seen at all this series. This is her first day back in Morgan Rogers, who has already made quite the impact. Already with an RBI in this game and has crossed home plate herself. 2-0 to Rogers. That'll be a long fly ball over in left field. Backtracking is Hastings, catching it just in front of the fence. And that'll be 3 outs here for the Huskies as they look to try to add to their runs. Currently 5-2 the score in favor of the Blue Demons. We'll return after the break with some more. Welcome back to Cacciatore Stadium. In the circle now we have for the DePaul Blue Demons, Bella Nidji. She got the nod entering the circle here today. So far through 4 innings of work, she's given up 2 runs, has allowed 2 hits, struck out 1 and walked 2. She struck out Breslin in the top of the second as well as Coupal in the top of the third.
Leading off the UConn fifth, center fielder, number 12, Caitlin.
One of those free passes went to Caitlin Kibling. Kibling will smash that into the left center gap. Blunt will watch the ball breeze by, and Kibling will already be at second base. You can tell she really puts those wheels on display whenever she's on the base paths. Kibling with the leg kick, stomping down, generating some force to push that in the left center. It's always a little tricky as an outfielder too, depending on the fencing that you have. Sometimes the ball can be a little stuck or bounce in some spots you weren't anticipating. But Kibling with the double. So bring up the catcher, Hope Barber. Pardon, Heidi Barber. She's been working in tandem with Hope Jenkins today, who's been in the circle. She'll get the bump down. Beaupre will make the throw. Runner will advance over to third.
The left fielder, number 14, Lexi Hastings.
Freshman catcher gets the job done. Advancing Kibling. She'll now stand at third. There's one down. At the plate, we're going back to the top of the lineup in Lexi Hastings. A swing and a miss. Hastings has been the leadoff bat for quite some time here for UConn, swinging .383 entering today's competition. Displays that extra base pop as well. However, she gets that on the end of the bat. Unable to stop it was Alvers. It'll also squeak by Rodriguez, and a run will score. Hastings putting that directly into the 5-6 hole. Unable to stop it was a third baseman. That's such a tricky area to play there because, you know, that's something you don't want to do as a third baseman is make a play that would have been easier for your shortstop, but that's almost in no man's land. Kibling seizing the opportunity there, going home. That'll be an RBI here for Hastings. 5-3 the score. Grace Jenkins watches that one go in. Grace Jenkins making some history yesterday, broke the program record for career doubles, hitting the 51st of her career yesterday. Also broke the program single season record for doubles, hitting 19 so far on the year. Grace also recorded her second 3-hit game of the season, giving her 16 multi-hit games in the year 2025. Came around to score a run as well in each of her plate appearances. She's now reached base safely in 19 straight games. She's had some hard outs here today, launching both deep into right field. Two balls, no strikes. Runner on first. Hastings with a big lead will go back. Grace Jenkins looking to be selective here against Niji. Count goes 3-1. One down, Hastings at first. Jenkins will take the free pass. Hastings will head on over to second. This will set the stage here for Rosie Garcia. Garcia 0 for 2 on the day. Flew out to right and then to center field in the first and fourth innings. UConn with 1 run on the board in this one. She'll barrel it up to center. Catching it on the hop is Rogers. That'll be 2 down.
Next up, the shortstop, number 8, Kat Pettis.
Yeah, you can see here really just generating that power and able to work her barrel lower into the zone. Not always an easy thing to do against a pitcher that likes to work in the lower or upper half. Can always throw you off balance. Another one will stay down low. 2 down, 1-0 count. Kat Pettis is 1 for 2 so far on the day. Also has a run in her name. She'll hold back on the off speed. Good deployment there by Niji. Two balls, no strikes. Pettis will rope that one into left, trying to stop it on the dive is Rodriguez. Hastings will yes, she will score. Squeaking her hand in there. Advancing over to third base, we have Grace Jenkins. She originally got on the bag via a walk. And that'll be a double there for Kat Pettis.
Right fielder, number 11, Caitlin Breslin.
Hastings already rounding third by the time that Blunt was able to get the ball in her mitt. Great work by Hastings. Looks like she was able to get her hand in time. Looks like after that we'll have a change in the circle here for the Blue Demons. We'll return after the break as Bella Niji exits the game. Bella Niji will exit the game with freshman Ava Gusel coming in for an appearance. She earned the start for DePaul in the first matchup, her 5th of the season, and that was her first appearance since April 5th, coming in to take on the Huskies. She conceded 4 walks before exiting in favor of fellow freshman Hannah Messer, who's been coming up big in some of those tight games. Messer went 2 2/3 innings, allowing 9 runs on 7 hits. Edema made her 3rd appearance in that one as well. Gusel with 2 straight balls thrown. We have runners on first and second. Jenkins able to get on base via a walk. Pettis with an RBI double. That scored Lexi Hastings, who was able to just sneak her hand in there on the dive. Head first to home plate. Breslin, the other home run hitter in yesterday's doubleheader, a 3-run shot along with Pettis. Those two had quite an outstanding performance. Breslin will now take the walk, and bases are loaded with 2 down. Hope Jenkins will now come to the plate. 2 deep flyouts for Jenkins in her last 2 at-bats. Her twin sister Grace is standing over at third. Hope Jenkins is a threat not only when she's in the circle, but also when she's at the plate. Hope swinging .288, entering today's contest with 9 doubles and 5 home runs. The Blue Demons will take a beat to convene here in the circle. The score now 5-4, UConn inching closer. Again, through 10 games here in the month of April, they've accounted for 109 runs, outscoring their opponents 109-41. Her flyout to center there in the 4th inning with the sacrifice, actually brought in one of her teammates for a run. Goosel able to work that one in for a strike count, goes to 3-1. Jenkins will work that the opposite way. It'll stay in the ballpark, though. Hogue will bring it back in. In comes the 3-2 to Jenkins. She'll send that directly to the glove of Cosgrove, flashing the leather, sailing in the air to get the out, retiring the threat. Bases were loaded here at the home of the DePaul Blue Demons, and they show why. This is their home turf right there. Working oppo is Hope Jenkins, and sailing high to the sky, we have Bailey Cosgrove. When we return, the Blue Demons will return back to the plate, trying to hold on to this 5-4 lead. We'll see Lydia Edema, the home run hitter in Game 1 of this series. She'll be back.
The bottom of the fifth for the DePaul Blue Demons, the DP.
Welcome back to Cacciatore Stadium. This is the bottom of the 5th inning. The Blue Demons of DePaul taking this one at 5-4 here. UConn Huskies able to put up 2 runs in the top of the 5th, as Lydia Edema will watch that one come in for strike 1. Bailey Cosgrove ending that inning in stellar fashion. We saw that bases were loaded. A liner was ripped off the bat of Hope Jenkins, and sending it high to the sky was Cosgrove, jumping high to make the snag. Just showing off her pure athleticism, why she's one of the go-tos for the middle infielders here for this DePaul crew. 1-1 to Edema now. Hope Jenkins in the circle. Off speed will make this 2-1. Lydia Edema is 0 for 2 on the day here today. Has also struck out, doing so in the bottom of the first. She'll send that one deep into left center. That's where her home run was yesterday. And just like that, her 6th home run of the season. 2 so far in this series against the UConn Huskies. Lydia Edema making some quick work here for the Blue Demons. The delivery from Hope Jenkins, it was elevated in the zone, turning on it quickly with fast hands was Edema to send that deep. The ball's still rolling, I believe, over in Wish Field as the train starts to roll by. This will be a 6-4 ball game now, courtesy of Edema. The sophomore tallied 4 hits on the day during the doubleheader. That included her 5th homer of the season. She had 3 hits in game number 2. Edema is just the 4th Blue Demon to tally 3 or more hits in a single game this year. Up next is Kelly Beaupre for the Blue Demons, as it looks like the Huskies are having a conversation here between Barber and Hope Jenkins. For Jenkins, it seems as though she's been a little rattled during this start. Pardon this appearance, coming into pitch in relief for Peyton Kinney. Beaupre will leave that one, no interest. Beaupre tries to hold off, but ends up getting a piece of it. You can hear her teammates cheering her on. Kelly Beaupre is a graduate student here at DePaul University. She's originally from California. As that'll go out of the ballpark. She was a 4-year letter winner in soccer and softball. The 17-18 Bay League champion with a 16-2-4 final record. She's studying to earn her Master of Business Administration. Two-two. They're going to check her swing. They say she did not go. Beaupre was a 2-time All-Ivy League honoree. She spent 2 seasons with Dartmouth. And she'll watch that one go by for strike number 3. This will be the 4th K on the day here against the Blue Demons. 2 of those courtesy of Hope Jenkins in the circle. Both looking and both were against Kelly Beaupre. Hope Jenkins certainly does have some good stuff when she's in the circle. She knows how to change eye levels of the batters. She can pluck and play different areas of the plate. The Blue Demons, though, have been so aggressive in today's game. Doing so, manufacturing 6 runs off of 5 hits. One of those being the 6th homer of the year for Lydia Adama. As Carly Alvers returns to the plate, 2-0 count. We'll watch that one go by as well. Carly Alvers was 1 for 2 in game 1 of yesterday's doubleheader. After this, DePaul will travel to Illinois for a midweek battle on Tuesday, April 22nd. That'll be 4 p.m. Central Time. They'll return after that to host Creighton as that one is sent past the shortstop and arriving safely at first. We have Carly Alvers making some solid contact there with a poke to get on. While she was on top of that one, it was sent perfectly into a pretty tough spot. I think the defense was expecting more of a pull opportunity there off of Alvers' bat. So bring up Bibiana Rodriguez. And it looks like we'll have a pitching change. Hope Jenkins hurting to this game. We have Peyton Kinney. She got the nod to start things off. Coming in to make an appearance was Hope Jenkins. However, she was having some difficulty locating a few of her pitches. That's something that she typically does pretty well. We also see that the Blue Demons are capitalizing and are aggressive at the plate. Kinney with 3 1/3 innings of work so far in this one, giving up 5 runs off of 3 hits, 2 Ks and 2 walks. She'll face Bibiana Rodriguez. She'll show bunt. It goes down. Garcia makes the throw with the submarine arm to first. That'll be an out, but the runner will advance over to second. Bottom of the 5th here, the DePaul Blue Demons lead this game 6-4. You can tell that Peyton Kinney's feeling pretty good. Trying to shake off some of the rust, have some fun. Brooke Swick is now pinch hitting for Blunt. This will be in the 7th spot here today. Brooke Swick also made an appearance in yesterday's game in the pinch hitting role. We have Carly Alvers at second, 2 down. Pinch hitter at the plate here in Swick. The offering from Kinney. Coming in at 61 miles per hour. That fastball will make this a 1-0 count. Kinney most certainly the ace here for UConn. Swick tries to work the hands inside. That'll roll foul. So far here in the bottom of the 5th, we saw Lydia Edema with her home run. Beaupre struck out looking. Carly Alvers had the single to left field.
A pitch runner for the Blue Demons out at second base, number 22, Maya Landau. Landau running for Alvers.
Maya Landau will now come in to run for Carly Alvers. I think the DePaul coaching staff knows how crucial this run is just to pad here against a team in the UConn Huskies that really knows how to manufacture runs on the base paths. Swick will leave that one low. Landau will go back to second. Brooke Swick swinging 189 entering this competition, doing so through 53 at-bats, tallying 10 hits. Swick will try to work that one the opposite way. Swick with 6 RBI to her name on the year. Has crossed home plate twice on her own. Has walked once and has struck out 10 times. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Holding back just on that one was Swick. You can tell it's a little loud here in the crowd. I don't think everybody here is in agreement of her not getting her bat across the zone. It's a full count now. Runner on second. Swick tries to pound the off speed. Looks like there's somebody warming up in the bullpen. Here for UConn, they tried to catch the foul ball, unable to do so. Swick battling in this one. Here's the 3-2 from Kinney. Landau at second. That one will be out of play. As a pinch hitter, Swick knows how to handle the pressure that comes in and wants to capitalize on every moment. This is a different rush that you get when you come in as a pinch hitter, when you know that this is one of your only opportunities really in the game. Swick will barrel that one up. It'll go over the head of DePaul. Breslin will be with the retrieval. Landau will score, and diving headfirst into second is Brooke Swick, who came in as a pinch hitter this inning, doing so for Blunt.
The catcher, number 18, Zoe Levine.
So with that RBI double, Brooke Swick was able to make something happen, really battled in that at-bat. The longer that those pitches go for, I feel it normally turns up in favor of the hitter, just seeing different speeds, getting an idea of what the pitcher's thinking. DePaul now tossing out some T-shirts with that one. The score 7-4 in favor of DePaul. We have Swick over at second, Zoe Levine at the plate. That one will pour in for a ball. Zoe Levine with a .247 batting average. She's from Riverside, Illinois. She's a freshman. In high school, she played for Riverside Brookfield. As some kind words are exchanged between Barber and Peyton Kinney. In high school, Levine was a 4-time All-Conference and 3-time All-Area honoree. Earned a Presidential Award for Academic Excellence. So Swick will be out. Coming in now for DePaul will be number 28, and Addison Talbot. She'll stand now on second.
Number 28, Addison Talbot running.
Lundell scores. She was the one who came in to run for Carly Alvers. Addison Talbot now out there for the pinch hitter Brooke Swick. That one will pop high for Levine. It'll bounce off the tracks just before the train rolls through. For Zoe, her father Jeff played baseball at Northwestern University, and her grandfather Jerry wrestled at Purdue. Is majoring in special education. She'll send that long ball high in the sky. Kibling will camp underneath it, and with 2 outs, that will end the threat here in the bottom of the 5th. The Blue Demons able to get 2 runs aboard. We'll be back with some more action here for Big East softball. UConn Huskies taking on the DePaul Blue Demons. We'll see you in a bit.
UConn 4. Fans after the game, the DePaul Blue Demons.
Welcome back, everybody, to Cacciatore Stadium. Alvers and Blunt both returning into this game. We have Ava Gusel in the circle. Levine, just with that long fly out, returns to be behind the dish. Up next, we have Haley Kupal here for the UConn Huskies, bats 7th. A .338 slug percentage. 3 doubles and a triple. Has 21 hits so far on the year. It'll be ball number 1. If you're the Huskies, this is definitely the time to try to ignite something with the bats. You're down by 3 runs. As that one tails in, 2-0. UConn able to put up 2 runs in the 4th and 5th innings, with 4 total, doing so off of 5 hits, 1 defensive error. I'm sure part of the messaging today was not to get too ahead of themselves as well, with their 5th run rule victory of the season happening in Game 1 against DePaul. 16-1 final score as that one is sent over to Rodriguez. Unable to make the grab, though, is Beaupre. It'll bounce out of her mitt. Runner will be safe over at first base. So now a runner on first here for the Huskies. This is a team that can be a little scary when they're on the base pass. They sport a high IQ. They also possess speed and some pure athleticism, as Kibling now makes her way. And this is a team that isn't shy to do some small ball either. We've seen plenty of those moments on both sides of the ball for both the Demons as well as the Huskies. 1-0 count against Caitlin Kibling. Stole her 12th base of the season in this game. That'll stay fair. Levine gets the out over at first. The runner will advance to second. Kupal stands there. Kibling with the sacrifice bunt. It's a great bunt, too. Levine having to move around the obstacle there in the bat. All right, so typically we would see Heidi Barber step up to the plate at this time. She rounds out the order. But now it looks like we have Kaylee DeMayo joining this game. She'll be pinch hitting here for Barber. DeMayo swinging .227 entering this contest. 2 home runs to her name. .500 slugging percentage. That one will stay high. DeMayo hit her second home run of the season in game number 1 of yesterday's doubleheader. One-two count now. Top of the 7th, Kaylee was able to close out that game. Doing so with a single to center field, scoring Hope Jenkins from third. That was the first time this season that Kaylee DeMayo has scored back-to-back RBIs. Pardon, doing so in back-to-back games. Full count against DeMayo. Tries to get that ball in the outer part of the plate. Unable to get a good piece of it. Kibling with the sacrifice bunt to advance Kupal to second. DeMayo will send that over to Rodriguez. She'll check the runner, fire over to first, and that will be another out here in the top of the 6th. Nice stop and scoop by Rodriguez. Beaupre shaking off, dropping the previous ball sent from the shortstop. That's what allowed Kupal to be safe at first and now stand at second. This will bring up Lexi Hastings, the leadoff bat here for the UConn Huskies. Rise will go high. That one will stay low in the zone. Goosel here trying to work different eye levels for the batters. Hastings continuously gets excited every time she gets a free pass over to first base, trying to hype up her team. The dugout, they're down by 3 runs. Tying run is currently at the plate now. This is Hope Jenkins, Grace Jenkins. She was intentionally walked at one point in game number 2 with runners on. Curious to see how they try to attack her here. Once again, in game number 2, Grace Jenkins broke the program record for career doubles, hitting 51 all throughout her time as a junior. In doing so, that broke the program single season doubles record with 19. She had 2 in the second game. Tallying 60 multi-hit games so far on the year. Has also reached safely in 19 games. Looks like the game plan will be to send Ava Gusel back to the dugout. They will bring out Kelly Green, one of their aces, the junior, who's responsible for the 1 conference win that DePaul has had. They're looking to make it 2 here today. Will return after the warm-up. The junior Kelly Green now back in the circle for the Blue Demons. We saw her in yesterday's game. Kelly coming in to give Levine a hug. She's been called upon in some pretty tough situations over the course of the season. This is another one. Bases loaded with Huskies, who continue to manufacture runs on the base pass and facing their lead hitter here, and Grace Jenkins, who's swinging well over 400 heading into today's game. First pitch from Green. That'll be a ball. A 1-1 count now. So here we have Kupal at second, Hastings on first. Grace Jenkins will send that deep into left center, doing what she does best. Now with 17 home runs on the season, continuing to push her single game home run record. She'll return to meet her teammates after facing the new pitcher in Kelly Green. Making program history every single at bat is Grace Jenkins, who just absolutely launches this one deep into left center. She was the tying run on this one, and with that 3-run shot, we've got a tied ball game. So Hastings will score, Kupal will score, as well as the home run hitter Jenkins. One-0 the count. Garcia still looking to get on base here in this game. She's 0 for 3 on the day at the plate. I'm sure as a pitcher that's pretty tough to be rattled by a 3-run shot on your first time back in the circle in this game. Looks to hone it in here against Garcia, who will now head on over to first base with the walk.
Shortstop, number 8, Kat Pettis.
At the plate now is Kat Pettis. She grounded out to the third baseman in the second inning. Top of the fourth, she had a single out to center field. And then in the top of the fifth, she had the RBI double. She just continues to get good looks here at the plate. No balls, 2 strikes here from Kelly Green. Getting her out with some movement there is Kelly Green, going from a 3-run shot to a walk. And now, welcome back, everybody. We are winding it back. Grace Jenkins, the junior catcher slash first baseman, with that 3-run shot. The long ball going well above the left, the bottom of the fourth. Going through the 5-6 hole. Hogue will be safe over at first. Hastings will send the ball back in. The slapper working from the left side, able to make some solid contact there. Just continuing to make herself a hard out here for the UConn Huskies. So now we have Hogue aboard. On first base, there's no outs. This will bring back up Bailey Cosgrove. First pitch from Kinney. She shows bunt and pulls back. Kinney immediately dropping in case there needed to be a play made over at second. Cosgrove singled to center during the bottom of the second. The 1-0 here to Bailey Cosgrove, just on top of that one. Again, it's a tied ball game, 7-7 here at Cacciatore Stadium. Cosgrove just underneath that one. Will it hit the train? Oh, it just misses. Just missing the red line there. This has to be one of the most fun ballparks here across NCAA softball. Just a really fun setting, true to the city of Chicago. Here's the 1-2 to Cosgrove. That one will be high in the zone. Count runs to 2-2. Cosgrove will smash that one into left. It'll stay fair with the diving stop is Hastings. Hogue will slide into third. Amazing throw from all the way in the corner. However, that was a double for Bailey Cosgrove. Runners are now in scoring position here for the Blue Demons. Cosgrove just turning on that one. Hastings displays her speed, makes the diving stop there. It's always much safer to do that when you know you're at the corner of the field versus doing so and not sure where your fielder is behind you. Up next, we have Morgan Rogers. Was out for 6 games since the April 5th matchup against St. John's. St. John's currently ranks as the top team here in the Big East with a 13-4 overall record. Close behind them are the UConn Huskies after the 2 wins yesterday in the doubleheader against DePaul. If both UConn and St. John's are able to squeak out wins, the standings will stay the same. However, DePaul's looking to get a W for their second conference win against one of the toughest teams in the Big East. Hearing some oohs and ahs from the crowd. That's a 1-1 count now against Morgan Rogers. Stealing a base so far in today's game, now making it 9 for 10. Two balls, 1 strike. Morgan Rogers is 0 for 2 on the day, however, able to bring in an RBI. Oh, take that one right there on the elbow. Hold on. Looks like Blue's saying that she might have leaned into that one. So they're saying that she was over the plate in this one and kind of crouching down low, getting in the way of that pitch. So the count will go 2-2 in favor of Peyton Kinney in the circle. Pardon, it'll actually go to 3-1. She'll launch that one high. Camping underneath it is Pettis. Runners will stay. So with one down, we have Alexis Hogue standing at third base. Cosgrove over at second. Peyton Kinney taking a meeting here in the circle. Defense is joining in on the conversation. DePaul has a few offensive threats of their own, specifically in Lydia Edema, the sophomore with her 6th home run of the season coming away in the bottom of the 5th. Also notched a home run in Game 1 of yesterday's doubleheader against the UConn Huskies. UConn able to put up 3 runs there in the top of the 6th. That was courtesy of Grace Jenkins with her 3-run shot far over the left center wall. Edema will leave that one low. Staying pretty calm in the box. You see here Barber standing. Looks as though it's an intentional walk. I think for UConn, this is a batter that they can't risk. Making some solid contact. All right, Edema, already with a home run on the day, will arrive to first base. Looks like we'll have a pinch hitter coming in this one.
Pinch hitting for the first baseman, O'Prey, number 5, Addie Burdick.
In now is freshman Addie Burdick. She's pinch hitting here for Beaupre, who struck out looking in her last 2 appearances, but was able to touch home plate in the bottom of the 1st. Bases loaded, swing and a miss there from the freshman. Hogue's at third, Cosgrove at second, Rogers, Edema over at first after the intentional walk. With a changeup there was Kinney. No balls, 2 strikes. Getting that off the tip of her bat. They're going to fire it to home. Diving in, touching the bat. That's going to be Hogue. That'll be a run scored here for DePaul. And bases once again are loaded. It wasn't what she wanted, but it ended up working. That was a tough throw for Pettis to make. Fielding it, scooping it off the side. So Hogue will score. Cosgrove is now over at third. Edema at first after the intentional walk. Is now at second. Beaupre will come back to run.
And running at first base for verdict, number 8, Kelly Beaupre.
Carly Alvers has crossed home plate twice today. Londahl coming in as a pinch runner. Actually the one doing so in the bottom of the 5th. Carly Alvers with a .206 batting average entering today's game. 4 doubles and a home run to her name on the year. Alvers will smash that one into the glove of Garcia, making an incredible grab, who tries to dive headfirst into third. Man, we can see Cosgrove also speedy as well, gets right back in there before the mitt touches the bag. That was a stellar play and a great effort over by Garcia. Alvers really making some solid contact there. Doesn't always go your way. 2 down, Rodriguez at the plate. The base is loaded. Blue Demons up by 1. That one will go foul. Rodriguez had a sacrifice fly earlier in today's game, bringing in a run, has grounded out to shortstop. That one goes high. Over 2 on the day. Here's the 1-2 to Rodriguez. Peyton Kinney with a 2 1/3 innings of work so far. Make that 2 2/3. Peyton Kinney having a word there with Heidi Barber from behind the dish in the circle. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs with bases loaded. Rodriguez really trying to battle here. Bibiana has drawn 7 walks and has struck out 8 times entering today's game. That's out of 76 at-bats. There's a .301 on base percentage. That one will be sent high. Looks like underneath it is going to be Kupal. Could have been Breslin, but already with an RBI. We see the Blue Demons were able to hold on and bring the lead back. The 7-7 game goes to 8-7 now in favor of DePaul. When we return, we'll see what the Huskies come up with in the top of the 7th. This Wiley, Texas, who continues to show that she can come up big in some of these harder games. We saw her do so during yesterday's doubleheader. She came in for Ava Gusel in game number 1. That was after Gusel gave up 4 walks. Messer went 2 2/3 innings, allowing 9 runs on 7 hits. Gusel re-entered in that one. Edema as well. First pitch strike here for the freshman. At the plate now, it's Breslin. Caitlin with a 512 OBP. As that one hits her in the drive leg, she'll take the free pass over to first. Sometimes you just got to wear it for the team. But that'll set the stage here for Hope Jenkins. Hope Jenkins previously flew out to right, to center. That was a sacrifice fly, though, bringing around one. Also a line out over to second base. Snyder is now running for Breslin. Hope Jenkins, the junior, is 0 for 2 on the day today. Two first pitch strikes here for Messer, as she's dialing it back in, coming in for Gusel. Bellinigi originally got the nod in today's game. Jenkins will send that one high. Levine throws off the face mask, but no dice. Ball will go to the fans. I have a few UConn fans in the house today, traveling to watch this one. Roping that one is Hope Jenkins. Fielding it on the hop is Blunt. Snyder will advance. Jenkins with a single. Yeah, you have to eliminate any free passes that you can to a team like UConn. Thinking of Messner there, accidentally hitting a player by a pitch. That was Caitlin Breslin who wore it. Trotted down to first. Up next, it's Kupal. Another first pitch strike for Messer. Coming in warmed up. That one will stay high. Kupal shows the bunt, trying to make the grab. Jumping in the air is Alvers. It's hard as she's crashing into home plate, unable to make the stop. On the hot corner, you're always used to making plays and within a step or two from where you start. He's trying to do some traffic on the base pass. Here's UConn. Paul's 0 for 3 on the day with a run. That'll be sent high. Looks like it could be trouble. Trying to make the grab is Rodriguez, unable to do so. And looks like we'll have runners on first, second, and third. Kupal just underneath that one. Able to advance the runners, Rodriguez. It's going into no man's land, doing all that she can. Runners notice what's happening and they immediately make the move. So now we have Snyder over at third, Jenkins at second. Ring is now pinch hitting for UConn. We're seeing her come in for Caitlin Kibling. Savannah Ring, so far with 20 RBI on the season. That'll be sent high. It'll be in foul territory. Beaupre taking charge there, getting the first out here of the top of the 7th. UConn still in search of their first run of the inning. Down by only 1. Heidi Barber, the catcher, now at the plate. Used to seeing plenty of movement and different velocities as a catcher. Bases loaded, 1 down, 2-0 count. That was some great framework over by Levine behind the dish. Someone who doesn't get complimented enough for the work that she does. Unable to get the call there. 3-0 the count. Messer able to bring it back in. Somebody who keeps straight face no matter what happened in the previous at-bat, whether it was good or bad, whether it was a home run or a walk. Able to draw the swing there from Barber. Heidi with 7 walks on the season, 8 strikeouts, somebody who typically puts the ball in play. Barber battles, so does Messer. She was District Pitcher of the Year in 2024 in high school. And she's able to get the swing. Sending that high is Heidi Barber. Backtracking is Blunt. Tagging up. Snyder runs home with the cut is Beaupre. And just like that, the UConn Huskies tie this game up once again, 8-8. With the sac fly, Barber able to get the job done, bringing around Snyder, who came into pinch run for Breslin. This will bring up Lexi Hastings. DePaul knows all too well that the UConn Huskies are able to get runs on the board with 2 outs, doing so in their 9-0 shutout against Fairfield while they were playing the Stags. They had an inning where they were able to pelt 4 runs across the plate off of 2 outs. We saw a similar situation unfold during the doubleheader yesterday against DePaul. DePaul still out hitting the UConn Huskies by 2. Hastings, if you're the Huskies, is definitely who you want up at the plate during this sort of situation, this kind of at bat. Well, over the last 2 games, we haven't seen her hit with the power that she's capable of. She's been able to put the ball in play, get it in difficult spots, especially that 5-6 hole, drawing 2 walks throughout the last 2 games. She'll leave that one outside. Head coach Liz Baujagelski has been thrown out of this one. As we can see, she's taking her walk out of the ballpark. She's in her first season as head coach for the Blue Demons. Previously played for the team herself, part of the team that placed 3rd in the College World Series. Drawing her 2nd walk on the day, Lexi Hastings. That's her 3rd through her last 2 games. Equally as excited no matter what's happening out on the scoreboard. I believe the Blue Demons unhappy with a few of the calls that have been happening here. The Blue Demons putting up an absolute battle in this game, really flipping the script compared to what we saw during the doubleheader this season. Attacking early, staying aggressive, trying to find their pitches. Now Grace Jenkins, she had the 3-run shot earlier to tie this game up to make it 7 apiece. Now the game's 9-7. Pardon, tied at 8-8. No balls, 2 strikes. Against a single-season program home run hitter, Grace Jenkins tallying that up to 17 after today's game. Bases loaded, 2 down, 1-2 count. That'll be roped into right. Grace Jenkins, team leading .424 batting average, entering today. She'll punch that over to Rodriguez. She'll pump, check the runners, and get the out over at first. Just like that, we've got a tied ball game right here at the home of the DePaul Blue Demons. When we return, we're going to bring you the bottom of the 7th. The Demons hoping to make something happen. Welcome back to the home of Blue Demons softball. At the plate now, we have Blunt, who's been patrolling left field. She'll watch that one go by for a strike. We have Peyton Kinney currently in the circle. She got the nod in today's game. We saw Hope Jenkins coming after. She's now worked her way back in as we take a brief break. No balls, one strike. Here comes the delivery from Kinney. Working in the velo there. Count goes 1-1. We're in the top of the 7th. It's a tied ball game, 8-8. DePaul taking on UConn. Blunt shows the bunt, however, that will flare foul. We've seen a lot of small ball over the course of the weekend here. Whatever strategy helps to get you on base. Advance runners. Blunt shaking that one off a bit. Looks like she might have rolled her ankle. She shakes it off, gets ready to go. Blunt batting in the 7th spot here today, swinging .263 entering today's contest. Big swing and miss there. She'll strike out. That'll be her 2nd K on the day in the box. That's going to set the stage here for the catcher. We have Zoe Levine. Levine walked in her first at-bat, was able to cross home plate. A few pop flies here and there. Flying out to both right field and center. That one will come low and in. Overall, the DePaul Blue Demons are hitting .310 across the span of this game. The Huskies swinging .259. The Blue Demons pouring everything into this one, wanting to come out victorious. This could be their opportunity with one down. Here's a 2-0 from Kinney. Here's the 2-1 to the catcher. That will skid across the turf. Game 1 of yesterday's doubleheader was a 16-1 win in favor of UConn. That happened through 5 innings. That was their 5th run rule game of the season. DePaul having 4 under their belts. Notching their most recent one against UIC, doing so with a final score of 11-3, I believe through 6 innings of work. Hannah Messer came up big in that one. Blue Demons bats were big in that. All threats 1 through 9. In game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader, we saw DePaul put up 5 runs. UConn squeezing through with 14. 3-1 to Levine. She'll take the walk. Looks like some fans are a little disgruntled at that, maybe thinking that her barrel got through the zone on that hold. But the Blue Demons getting just what they needed with a runner on base. Out at first, Zoe Levine. 1 for 1 on stolen base attempts so far this season. So bring up Alexis Hogue, who's been phenomenal on the day, really tripping up the defense here for UConn. Kinney will send that one high. Hogue singled to center. That's when the defense really shifted over to the left side of the field. Grounded out to the shortstop in the bottom of the 4th, but had another nice single to left. Bottom of the 6th. The 1-0 count, unable to get the bunt down. It'll hit the net. Garcia with the retrieval. Through 3 innings of work here for Peyton Kinney. She's given up 6 hits, 6 runs, 4 of which were earned. Has walked 4, struck out 3, and 3 of those hits were doubles. Hogue gets a piece of it. Staying cool, calm, and collected at the plate. As a triple threat, she can bunt, slap, and hit. Can do so with power in the latter 2. Here's the 1-2 from Kinney. That'll go high. Pettis back tracking there and is able to make the grab. That'll be 2 down here for the Demons.
The second baseman, number 1, Bailey Cosgrove.
Shows bunt to get in a rhythm and timing. Works through the slap. Right idea, right side of the field, but just a little lofted. And Pettis moving quickly, showcasing her athleticism. Reads the ball off the bat to make the out. Taking a brief break here. We have Barber as well as Peyton Kinney. Kinney just typically all smiles. I think that's something that keeps her free and loose when she's in the circle. I think for the game of softball, what comes to players just having such a great culture and great personalities comes to this being a game of failure, right? You need to stay loose, you need to have fun. To be successful, you get a hit 3 out of every 10 at-bats, so it's a tough sport. It's good to have teammates or defensemen around you that continue to uplift you. This will bring us back to the top of the order here. Bailey Cosgrove, number 1, scored that play that was under review. In the bottom of the 1st, she was able to get her hand in there, avoid the tag. That was the first run we saw in the game. Had a walk as well. Levine over at first, 2 down. She won't touch that one. Cosgrove singling to center in her first at-bat, second with the walk, and then posting back-to-back doubles. Really just been seeing the ball well, attacking early, trying to find good pitches as they come. Three for 3 on the day. – 2-0, Cosgrove can't just time it up well. 2 balls, 1 strike. Levine over at first, just walked. Before that, Blunt struck out swinging. High and outside, looks like Cosgrove is just waiting for her pitch here. Cosgrove will get the walk. 2 straight here for the Blue Demons. Staying selective at the plate. Peyton Kinney having a hard time locating here, still trying to keep in good spirits. Speaking with her battery mate in Barber there, going over the situation. Runners on first and second, 2 down. Boy, this could be a big moment here for Morgan Rogers. Again, she was out for 6 games. That started back during April 5th after an injury playing St. John's. First one to Rogers, that'll be on the inside part of the plate. She had a sac fly in second, bringing around one of her teammates. Still looking to get a hit in this one. However, she did score on an error. Morgan Rogers, before that break, was swinging .282 with 24 hits throughout 85 at-bats. 4 of them doubles, 2 home runs, and only 1 walk. Makes contact on the neck of the bat. Has a stolen base on the game today. 9 for 10 on stolen base attempts. Two down, runners on first and second. Here's the 1-2 to Rogers. Rogers will send that one. It's lifted. Looks like it'll go foul, and it is out of play. No fans to catch the ball. Rogers will stay battling. Peyton Kinney with the delivery. 1-2, that's going to go over to the shortstop, the third baseman, Garcia, and she will fire over to first. And just like that, looks like we're going into extra innings here. We'll be back after the break. Come back to Flow Sports as we bring you some Big East softball. The number 2 UConn Huskies taking on the number 8 DePaul Blue Demons. Jenna Rose here today to bring you the call. Bella Niji, originally getting the nod to start in the circle here for the DePaul Blue Demons, comes back to the game. We've seen Ava Gusel. We've also seen Hannah Messer. Hannah Messer with an inning of work has given up a hit and a run, as well as a walk. Niji so far in this game has 4 2/3 innings of work, giving up 4 runs off of 5 hits, also tallying 2 Ks and 2 walks. Niji has a few tools in the tool belt to work with as she takes on a pretty talented lineup here in the UConn Huskies. At the plate, we have Rosie Garcia making the final out in the bottom of the 7th from third base.
She can get through this unscathed, right?
Yeah, and we score a run. Block that has to happen.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in the 8th inning here on Flow Sports at the home of the DePaul Blue Demons. Plenty of fans in attendance today on both sides of the aisle. In comes the 2-0 to Garcia. 3 straight balls from Bella Niji. Niji is somebody who's continued to battle some soreness and injury throughout the year, so she goes as deep into a game as she can for her team. And at times like this will reappear to try to seal up some loose ends. UConn with 8 runs off of 7 hits. DePaul doing so with 9. We're tied here. That one will be sent high into the air, lofted. Could it be Beaupre or Niji? Beaupre will make the grab. A little difficult with the communication there for this team. It's a situation you want to make sure you're not hurting your pitcher. It's important to have conversations of who has priority. Infielders having priority over pitcher, outfielders over the innies. Now Niji will face a familiar threat here in the box. We have Kat Pettis. Again, she had that 3-run shot in game 2 that we saw yesterday. She continues to display her dominance. That's going deep into center field. It's over the wall. Kat Pettis with a home run in a pivotal moment here in the top of the 8th, representing the Huskies. Kat Pettis just squaring up on that one, seizing the opportunity in the moment.
And you have their records?
I do, yes,
From way back when? Yeah.
Kat Pettis with 9 home runs, entering today's game with a slugging percentage of .697. That also includes 8 doubles and 2 triples before entering today. Now we have Caitlin Breslin, one of the 2 Caitlins on the team. She's batting in the 5 spot. In the 8th spot is the other Caitlin in Kibling. That'll float in. Count rolls to 2-1. Breslin with the second highest batting average for this squad coming into today's game, swinging .412. 2-1, that's roped into left. It'll stay fair. Blunt struggles with the ball. Breslin will advance to 2. That'll be a double. Blunt will fire it back into Alvers. Breslin does a little dance. So Pettis with the home run, followed by a stand-up double from Breslin. As UConn bats doing what they do best, they have the highest team batting average here in the Big East. Entering today's game, it was north of 320. Time's called. The Blue Demons will convene in the circle. So will the UConn bats and runners. Niji got the nod for game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday, going 3 2/3 innings, giving up 6 runs on 7 hits. We saw then that Kelly Green entered in relief. She's responsible for the lone conference win that DePaul has here in the Big East. Leaving that one is Hope Jenkins. Sees her teammate Caitlin Breslin aboard, wanting to bring her back home. Another shot into left. That one, however, will stay foul. I was mentioning that Kelly Green entered in relief during that second game of the doubleheader. She yielded 6 runs on 3 hits. We also saw senior Katie Pierce come in to finish the day, allowing 2 runs off of 2 hits. Jenkins unable to get that one, but with a drop third strike, she'll be safe over at first. Runner will advance over to second. We got the replay for you right here. Bella Niji with the delivery. It's low in the zone. It'll skid. She'll swing at it down in the turf. Has that muscle memory to know on the third strike, you got to go down. So Breslin now over at third, Jenkins at first. Blue Demons need to be wary about what could be happening on the base pass here.
It just, when you have an extra inning, it just takes off the center.
Kupal's at the plate now. Struck out in the top of the third inning. Grounded out to the second baseman at the top of the fourth. Got to first on an error.
This inning is reflected where it says 7. Is there not enough space?
That'll skid over to Levine. With one down, we have runners on first and third. Hope Jenkins. An arm here for the Huskies over at first. We have Breslin over at third. And that'll be a strike. Count runs full. Kubal will smash that one once again. Will go foul. These UConn bats a little out in front of it, but really displaying the pop. For Haley Kupal herself, she has 3 doubles and a triple so far on the season. A .273 batting average. Also 9 RBI entering this game. Kupal will work that the opposite way. Beaupre will stop the ball, able to get the out at first, but the run will score. Nothing for the Blue Demons to have been able to do. It'll be 2 down now.
The center fielder, number 12, Caitlin Kibling.
So Breslin scores. Jenkins will advance over to second. Paul is out. And this is a team that's phenomenal at running the base pass as well. And to be a good base runner, you don't just have to be fast. You just also really need to understand the game, be able to read the ball off the bat, read different situations. That'll stay low for Kibling. Kibling with 6 RBI to her name, has crossed home plate on 23 separate occasions. Entering today's game, she'll show bunt. She pulls back. Defense will stay back here for the Blue Demons. Ball's 1 strike. That's going to go on over to Cosgrove. She'll make the play over at second. And just like that, UConn able to add 2 runs here in the top of the 8th. When we return, we will bring you the bottom of the 7th. DePaul to tie this one up needs 2 more runs. For extra innings here at Cacciatore Stadium, the DePaul Blue Demons here on home turf look to add 2 runs to the board to tie things up. Hopefully get a walk-off run. Up first is Lydia Edema, who's having herself a weekend. 2 home runs, doing so once today in this game. The other, the lone run in game number 1 of yesterday's doubleheader. Has 6 so far on the season as a sophomore. Was also intentionally walked in this game as that one is sent deep. That'll go foul. Bounces in front of the train. Peyton Kinney in the circle here for the Huskies. Has the best average during conference play here in the Big East, entering this game with an ERA of 2.1. One ball, 1 strike. It'll be low and inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Huskies leading this one 10-8, able to add 2 runs in the top of the 7th. They put up 1 in the top of the 6th, 3 in the top of 5, and 2 in both the 4th and 3rd innings. Edema staying patient here. Edema will rope that over to left, however, will stay foul. Lydia Edema is a native of Iowa here for this Blue Demons roster. That'll be foul as well. As a freshman, she appeared in 29 games and earned 12 starts throughout the season. As well as seeing time at the plate, she saw time in the circle. She tallied 9 hits and 36 at-bats, swinging .250 that year. Full count, 3-2. That'll be sent sky high. Again, we've seen some close infield pop-ups here today. Pettis and Koopball bumping heads. Pettis getting the grab. We saw that earlier with Beaupre and Niji, I believe. Kelly Beaupre now at the plate with 1 out. Not a lot of time left here for the Blue Demons. Here's the offering from Peyton Kinney. That's going to hit her. She'll take the pass. Looks like Heidi Barber didn't think that actually happened there. Talking to Blue, but Kinney kind of gave her the motion to shake it off. Beaupre is a 2024 Dartmouth Legacy Award winner, now standing at first base. She's earning her master's in business administration. This will bring back up Carly Alvers. She's 2 for 4 on the day with a run and an RBI. One of those hits was a double. RBI double, I should specify. All right, looked like they're taking some time. So, looks like the call will stand that she was hit by a pitch. Pardon, they're initiating a video challenge on this one.
Right now, if things stand, is running at first base.
We're taking a look here. Shout out to our crew bringing us the replay. That's Beaupre at the plate. This is the moment that we saw Barber behind the dish react to. Not thrilled about the call. There's the leg lift, getting into stride. Ball's coming her way. She turns and reacts, kind of tries to get out of the way there. It's a little tough to see from this angle if it's something that's skimmed. Also, we have to remember that the home plate umpire has the best view in the house. For a call to be overturned, it has to hold convincing evidence in the replay. They're reviewing it now. It's a 10-8 ball game in favor of UConn. They come back out onto the field. All right, looks like the call will stand. Beaupre was hit by a pitch after the video review. Once again, call is upheld. Beaupre was hit by a pitch. Up next, we have Carly Alvers. Again, we talked about it, that RBI double we saw in the bottom of the first inning, really getting things rolling. That's when we saw Cosgrove cross the plate. Another play that also went under review. She grounded out to the pitcher. Bottom of 3, bottom of 5. She had a single over to left. And then a line out to the third baseman. But Alvers always able to barrel up some balls, has pretty good plate discipline. She has some pop too, 4 doubles on the year. Includes a home run. That long ball is sent high. Kibling makes the out. Beaupre will go back to second. And now it's all going to come down to the shortstop and Bibiana Rodriguez. Bibiana Rodriguez now at the plate, the last chance here for this Blue Demon squad. Getting a strong lead is Beaupre over at first, who was just hit by a pitch. The call stands. Oh for 3 on the day is Rodriguez. However, she does have an RBI. The sack, that one will fly high. You can hear some of the Huskies yelling, trying to communicate and locate where the ball is there. It's an important moment here for Peyton Kinney. Again, best ERA in the Big East entering this game in conference play. 210. No balls, 2 strikes. Rodriguez, that'll get punched high into right field. Running is Breslin, making the diving grab, and that will end Game 3 of the series. The UConn Huskies getting the sweep this weekend out here in Lincoln Park. The Huskies putting on an absolute show at the plate for the first 2 games, totaling 30 runs, but we are seeing it right here. Rodriguez tries to time it up. The long ball goes high. Breslin running and laying out, getting her jersey green to retire the final Blue Demon bat. At that point, you have to tip your cap to one of the defenders like that, but the UConn Huskies take the sweep here and continue to be one of the top teams here in the Big East. DePaul able to do something different today, though. They out-hit UConn with 10, just unable to get the runs on the board in the same manner. Another player who came up big here today was Grace Jenkins, a 3-run shot that added a lot of damage, as well as Kat Pettis. But that's it here today at Cacciatore Stadium. Thank you so much for joining us here on Flow Sports to watch some Big East softball. The UConn Huskies taking down the DePaul Blue Demons. We appreciate you checking in. DePaul will be headed out on the road after this.
for making us a part of your Easter weekend here at DePaul University. So honored to